All right, welcome to another episode of the Bulldog Bark. I'm yours truly, the Guru. BFC will not be with us today. Unfortunately, he had a little work trip going on, but we have a very special guest in the building. Newest, literally the newest, Butler Bulldog, Bryson Cardinal. Bryson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Very excited to have you on board. You got to wrap up the roster, man. You got all 15 slots now figured out for the 25-26 roster. And love having some local talent on the team. It's always a fun thing to keep hometown heroes, right? So appreciate you hopping on with us. Again, it's always fun meeting some of the new dogs. Kind of before we get into anything else, just kind of talk to us about that whole recruitment process, right? So, it was just a couple weeks ago. I think it was like mid-May or something like that, where we got the news. Honestly, it was a pretty undercover thing. No one really even knew you were there, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? So, talk to us about your recruitment process, and then what kind of ultimately made you decide to be a Butler Bulldog.
So my recruitment process was kind of a lot of ups and downs. I started off last June. Some Indiana people will know what it is, but the Charlie Hughes tournament. So I had a really good Charlie Hughes tournament. Walked out of there with 3 offers and a lot of interest, and I was high on life, man. I was crushing it. And then I went to Adidas at 3SSB, and I struggled immensely. And I went from up here, high up on the tier list, down to probably where I should have been all along. But so my recruiting kind of slowed down after July,
Mm.
and I was still heavily in contact with the 3 schools that originally offered me, but mainly Eastern Illinois and Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. So I ended up taking a visit to both schools, and I thought both were great, but I wanted more for myself. I thought I could do more. So throughout my season, I was just kind of waiting, talking to some schools here and there. Every single time I'd get close to picking somewhere, they'd get a transfer or they'd have something that came up. So towards the very end, I was heavily looking at Evansville, and then they never pulled the trigger, and I couldn't wait anymore. So I kind of decided I was going to go to Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. So had another visit there, and it was great, and I really liked it. And I was getting ready to call them one Tuesday night, and Coach Mata called me and my dad and said we want him.
Yeah.
So he'd been talking. Coach Mata had been talking to my dad for a little bit, just kind of back and forth conversation. Never anything like super duper serious. Because I've always been more of like a mid major guy. No, that was like my first high major offer, high major interest. So he called my dad, and I was supposed to sign the next day.
Mm.
So we had to kind of postpone my signing day, my commitment, all of that stuff. And then I took a visit that next Friday, and then I committed a couple hours after. So we went into the visit and said, we are not committing today. We're going to wait a couple days, talk it over. And as we're leaving, my dad sent me all of Coach Mata's information and said, call him on the way home.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. You kind of touched on it a little bit there. Obviously, you had some, kind of some mid-major opportunities there. And we already know, great article with Akeem, but that you're planning on redshirting, obviously this freshman
Mhm.
year. What was that process like? I mean, you're kind of sitting there, decision of, hey, you get an opportunity to kind of work with. I'm very biased. I think the Big East is the best conference in college basketball. I always say that. But you have an opportunity to play at the high major level in the Big East, but maybe you have to wait your turn a little bit in that scenario versus like going to maybe like an SIU Edwardsville where you get to kind of maybe play a little bit sooner, right?
Mhm.
What was kind of like that discussion like, and how that go?
So originally, like going to SIUE or Eastern Illinois, like I would have played significant minutes, if not started my freshman year.
Yeah.
And I mean, that really would have been great. But I mean, knowing myself, knowing how much I weigh, my physical attributes, my quickness, all that, it's not where it needs to be. I mean, I walked into the second meeting with Coach Mata, and I was like, I want a redshirt. He's like, great, we want a redshirt you too. So it was awesome because we were both kind of in agreement with what I should do. And then he kind of laid the plan out there for me, like what he wanted me to do, what he wanted me to bring to the table as a redshirt, which is everything that I was hoping to do and hoping to bring to the table for the team. But I mean, I first couple practices, first couple workouts. I mean, I can tell myself that I know I'm nowhere near where I need to be right now. But it's great because I had a conversation with Coach Mojo today and Coach Mata about what I need to do to get to that level. So they're great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. kind of going off of that, what maybe for someone who hasn't really seen you play, because you, let's be honest, you were balling last year at Garen, right? So I think you averaged like 19 points per game and some stuff like that, like some really good stats, right? What are let's start with maybe focus on, so what are some of your that you would consider your strengths or things that you're bringing to Butler basketball for people that haven't seen your game?
I think my strengths right now and what I bring to the table is just a nonstop 100% motor. I think, like you said, I averaged 19, but I also think I averaged like 9.6 or 9.8 rebounds. So
Yeah.
I pride myself in getting after all those rebounds, the loose balls. I think I lead the school in charges taken. So I'm just a hard nosed guy who's going to go out there. He's going to do what you need to do. So like right now, I need to get a little bit physically bigger to be able to score in the paint. But over this offseason, I've really developed my shot, and my shots looked a lot nicer. So I think that, I mean, in the next couple of years, Butler's going to get a big bruiser, someone who's going to go in there and do the dirty work, but knock down an open three if it's open.
So I have to obviously ask you after that brilliant answer there, do you model some of that after your dad?
Oh, for
Obviously, that
sure.
being Brian Cardinal, you have to, right? So is that something? Has he been kind of like a role model as far as your game and kind of how you progressed in your basketball career?
So funny enough, my parents didn't have me watch much of his highlights growing up. So
Right.
I haven't really seen much because they wanted me to be my own player
Yeah.
and for me to grow as someone who I am as myself. So I didn't start watching him until junior year of high school, but my game has kind of always progressed towards what he did and what he was about. So kind of watching it, it's kind of cool to see like some of the stuff that he would do is what I do, and it's just kind of first nature for me.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome, man. It's really cool. And we'll come back to your dad in a little bit because I definitely want to hear more about how it's kind of growing up with him as a dad. We obviously talked about the strengths you brought right there, which I love because Butler Way is always about hustle. And you kind of touched on it maybe a little bit ago about kind of like just getting in the weight room and stuff like that. But what are some of the things you feel like you need to work on a little bit as you make that transition from high school ball to especially the Big East, right? That's, again, I'm going to say I'm biased. I think it's the best. I don't care about
Mhm.
any other conference, but what are kind of some of the things you think you need to work on as you make that transition to high major basketball?
So I think that physicality is definitely a big part of it and getting in the weight room. I mean, I started lifting heavily with Coach Ty this week and stuff before, and I've already gained 4 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm teeter tottering at 200 right now, and I want to be 210 by the end of the summer. So the physicality is definitely a big aspect, and just the pace of play is so much different from going from high school to college ball. So getting myself in elite shape so I'm able to outwork people, outrun people, and just always have that motor. But then being able to shoot when I'm tired. So that was an issue that I've run into the first couple of days is like we're doing shooting drills and I'm knocking down some shots. But once I start getting tired, shooting a little bit further back than high school and just being tired, I got to definitely work on that and get in the gym. But, coaches and managers have been great reaching out. They'll rebound for me. Got a couple new freshman teammates that are trying to get in the gym with me and trying to get some good work done. So I have no doubt that I'll be able to improve, like I said, my speed and my strength and then my shot as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And kind of touching off of that. So obviously you guys started doing some of your practice and stuff this week and some of your workouts. Very highly touted freshman class coming in. We got you and then Xavier Robbins. I mean, it's a top 25 class, right? And you got Caffrey coming in. We got Ethiosa, Jackson Keith. Great class, right? Obviously there's some older guys there too, right? Maybe who are some of, and this is kind of one of the fan questions, who are some of the guys that you could already see yourself kind of looking up to a little bit for maybe some guidance as you kind of navigate this freshman career, especially kind of being the forward position. I'm just looking at the roster thinking like Ajayi and stuff like that. Like, who are some of the guys that you've already seen? You're like, okay, I kind of want to either you want to kind of learn more from him, or you can kind of see where they might take on more of a role and kind of help guide you a little bit.
So I mean, every one of the team's been great so far with like helping me out and talking to me and kind of letting me know where to be. I mean, you definitely touch on it, Ajayi, like Mike. He's my guy. Like he was texting me tonight trying to get me to come and play ones.
Yeah.
And just because like we had a conversation the other day about how like I need to be a better defender on ball and he needs to be a better attacker at the rim. So we're trying to make each other better with that. But I can definitely see myself. I look up to him a lot because of mean, how much weight he's gained since he was, I mean, a JUCO product.
Yeah.
Just from how he's developed is a way that I'm kind of really looking at, just putting your head down and putting the work in. So I like watching him play. He's definitely someone that I'd like to kind of follow. But then Jalen Jackson as well. I think one in my like first 4 possessions, I turned the ball over for first 8 jitters. I'm super nervous, and he came up to me. He's like, "Just keep your head up, like look for the read." So he was great as well, just kind of helping me out and teaching me because, like I said, it's a different game than high school and 3SSB and Adidas and all of that stuff. It's just it's different. But someone who's been through it for the past 3 or 4 years, both of those guys have been great with helping me. And I mean, they want me to develop. They want me to be great for the program in the next coming year. So it's been awesome.
That's awesome, man. And Ajayi, just back to your previous answer, I mean, dude hits the boards. He hits the boards hard. Like you see, he's he was, I think, in the West Coast, he was like second best in efficiency from a rebounding perspective. So going back to your answer earlier, where you said you're kind of willing to do hustle and get to everything, I think that I would love to. I mean, that'd be really cool if you modeled after him, right? And Jalen, we had the pleasure of interviewing earlier, and I think he's going to be a great leader. So a lot of good guys for you to look up to. I'm very excited about that class. Very excited about your class. Going back to your dad for a second. Obviously, we know. I tweeted something a few weeks ago about you taking Dirk one-on-one. What was it like growing up, with your father in the NBA and everything like that? What was that experience like, and how did that kind of? I know you kind of touched on how you didn't really watch his tape much, but how did that impact your life growing up?
I mean, it really was such a blessing, and it is such a blessing to have him as my father because it brings in so many different connections. But I mean, like you mentioned, Dirk, like every single time they'd come to Indy, I'd be out there on the court shooting with them. So I kind of grew up as him with like a close family friend. So I mean, just the relationships that he's built with players has definitely been great for me because I've been able to look up to certain guys. Like we went to Dallas last year with Dirk, and it was great. He was awesome to me. He was teaching me all kinds of stuff. We're watching the game, and he's pointing all kinds of stuff out. And I mean, it's some psychotic stuff. Like it's stuff that you and me wouldn't see, but he sees it 2 plays ahead of time.
Right.
But it really was awesome, and especially with Purdue, having the ability to be he was such a vocal part of what they've done in the past couple of years, and
Mm.
it was really cool being able to grow up and see their practices and see their games. So I would have an idea of what it's like to be at that level.
Mm.
But I mean, he still kind of keeps me in the loop with a lot of that stuff. So I've learned a lot of, like I said, what it takes to be at that level. And just I've met some really awesome people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. Do you call him Uncle Dirk? Is that I don't know. I saw in the tweets it looked like Uncle Dirk. Is that actually his name?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, when I was younger, yeah, and now
Yeah.
it's just kind of like Dirk.
It's Dirk, right? Yeah.
Like, because like now I call like some of my uncles, I just call them like
Right.
their
Right.
names. But like I think growing up a little bit, I'd call him Uncle Dirk.
Uncle Dirk, yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. So, speaking of Dirk, is there any NBA players or any basketball players that you feel like you tried to model your game after, or people have said that your game is similar to growing up?
Everybody tells me my dad.
Yeah,
So I think that's kind of like an obvious one, but like someone that like I've started to watch a lot more is Dirk and just the way that he uses his size and his body to just get shots off the one leg with the knee fader.
yeah,
That's always a
unstoppable,
classic. Oh yeah.
unstoppable. Yep.
So that's something that I've been trying to work on a lot more. And just obviously his ability to space the court and battle inside. So I think those are two of the guys, but my sophomore year, I got a lot of Dennis Rodman.
Okay, I like that.
Wouldn't, wouldn't
That's a
score
good
the
thing to be compared to, though.
wouldn't score the ball much, but I think I had 7 rebounds a game and two
Yeah.
concussions. So
But also, man, so maybe stepping away from the court a little bit just to kind of get to know you, so just get to know you type stuff. Obviously, going to Butler to play basketball. I know your mom's also a coach at Garen High. Is that correct? The girls
yes,
team.
sir.
Yes. And so I know reading Akeem's article, you talked a little bit about it. But what's kind of maybe your game plans for studying? What are you looking forward to studying at Butler, or what's kind of your career aspirations?
So I'm still kind of torn between I kind of want to go and get a business degree in hopefully 3 years, and then my last two I would get a pre-law minor and then go to law school after. or I want to go into pharmaceutical and medical business and then sell cancer detection devices out of college.
Damn. Okay, that is all right. That is a good answer. That's that. Just going to college, I was like, I want to be a physical therapist, and that's I like your answer better. That's planned out. I like it. Um, and then what? Just again, some more just kind of random things. Let's say you're trying to get hyped up for a game or a practice. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
Oh, that's a good one. Recently, when I'm trying to like make myself think this isn't going to be miserable, we're going to get through this. I throw a little bit of Morgan Wallen on, but
Yeah.
before games, I listen to some angry music, some angry loud rap, just trying to psych myself up, get myself going.
Any
It's
specific
always
artists?
I like Drake a lot. Drake and
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen are probably my two favorites.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. 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 Obviously, being an indie guy, I don't even have to just ask you what your favorite food is. What's maybe your favorite indie restaurant?
I got two answers for you, like an easy, quick little place, Crafters and Carmel off of
Yeah.
146.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes,
That's
sir.
my place.
Yeah.
John and some of those guys there. I've been going there for 4 years, so I got a relationship with a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
But if I'm going for like a nice steak dinner, like if I'm going for my parents, I love me some Harry and Izzy's. That's my favorite place.
Can't go wrong. You can't. You cannot go wrong. No, that's so. It sounds like are you like a steak guy, Italian? What's like your favorite type of food, if you had to say that?
I eat so much food in a day. Like today, I had steak, I had chicken for dinner, I had pasta for lunch, and then I had some protein waffle. Like I eat everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't really
Hey.
have a favorite.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like it. Just a man of a lot of different places. I like it. What about obviously we know you as a basketball player on the court, right? What's maybe a hobby that you do off the court that maybe people don't that the fans wouldn't know?
Mm.
And it could be something
That's kind of a
generic. Like
tricky
you get a lot
question.
of answers like golf and stuff like that. Or I think someone said bowling or something. I can't remember. I've done it too many. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
I'm big into ping pong.
Okay.
So whenever
Yeah.
my friends or my girlfriend will come over, we'll play. Like my girlfriend and I have a series going that's been going on for a year and a half. And it's neck and neck. I think I'm up 2 games right now, and some of my buddies will come over and we'll crush that, and then some foosball.
Yes.
So those are
Yes.
two kind of weird, but just I mean that's what we like to do.
Yeah, those are great ones.
That's awesome.
So and then it kind of just one more thing here. Um, you're an indie guy. What's like the place you like to, whether it's a vacation spot or just somewhere you want to travel to or you've been to? What's like the one place outside of Indy that you like to go to kind of get away from the Midwest, or not even the Midwest, just from Indy?
So Angola, Indiana.
Okay,
So
explain that one.
kind
Yeah,
of a wild spot, but Lake James up there. We've been going up there since I was born.
yeah,
So we got a lake place up there, and that's like every summer. Like as soon as practice is over at Friday at noon, I'm driving straight up there, and I'm not coming back until Sunday night for practice Monday morning.
that's awesome, man. That's not the answer I expected, but I love it. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Couple fan questions. Number one, what basically they're saying kind of what team or what venue, whether it's obviously a lot of people say like Madison Square Garden for the Big East tournament, but what places outside of Hinkle, because we're all biased, Hinkle's the best, we know that, but what place outside of Hinkle are you looking forward to playing at now that you're Butler Bulldog?
I know we don't play Purdue this year, but if we happen to ever play at Mackey, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Um, but I think playing at UConn would be pretty great. My guy Braylon Mullins is over there now, so
Yeah,
we kind of got a little bit of a Big East rivalry going on there now. But I think that'd be a super cool place to play because of what Dan Hurley's done and what they kind of have going for them. It'd be great to go in there and take them down.
I would love that. Last year, I don't know if you saw the game. It went to overtime.
Mhm.
Telfort missed a three. I mean, great shot to take it would have been our first time beating UConn, and UConn would be a special one. So I want you guys to do that because obviously the 2011 national championship, that was an ugly one, but we lost in it, right, to UConn. But yeah, you and Stink, and then obviously Brendan Mullins. I mean, you guys got quite the little Big East thing going on,
Mhm.
and from Indiana, right? So that's kind of exciting to see
Yeah.
transpire. And then One second. And also, you guys get to play in Cambridge again this year, which is pretty cool against
Yeah, that's
Northwestern, which
awesome.
is, yeah, which is awesome. Real quick, let me pull up a couple more of these questions. So, here's kind of here's a really specific one, which is so well, having played on many successful high school teams, what was your favorite year? And they even marked it down. They said the 22-23 semi-state champs, the 23-24 regional champs, or the 24-25 sectional champs. They know a lot. So, which of those, I guess, was your favorite year?
I think that first year, so a lot of people don't know this. My freshman year, I was on the freshman team. I was on the B team, sat the bench. Like I
Yeah,
wasn't very good. And my sophomore year in the Christmas tournament, they threw me in and started me on a varsity game when I probably wasn't ready. But I mean, I played well. I took the most shots out of the team my first game, which my coach
fire.
loved to share with people. But I got thrown in there like the 4 days after Christmas, and I started every game from then on. And I think that was just my favorite season because I felt that so many people believed in me, and I played such a key piece. And we lost in overtime in the state championship, which stunk. But it was so cool to be there and to be a part of all of that. And I mean, I'm never gonna forget those teammates that believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I think that's what kind of propelled me to have the rest of the high school career that I did.
That's awesome, man. That's very cool. And then same person want to ask about the crazy double OT sectional game against Haywood during his junior year. What were your thoughts as Evan kept hitting 30 footers at the end of regulation and overtime? And what was the end of game sequence like?
We talked about this today. So Coach Debor and all kinds of other people bring it up to Evan every day, and it's his least favorite part of the day. But I give him some credit today because the guy who was guarding Evan they kept running the same play, and we kept telling him what they were going to run, and he still continued to hit the threes. So going down the stretch, we had two of our other good players foul out. So it was me and two other guys who shouldn't have been on the court at that point in time.
Yeah,
But those are the two guys that made the game-winning play. I mean, all right, the original play was let's throw a lob up for somebody to in front of the rim.
yeah,
And I mean, we were thinking this would be great. This is going to work, and someone didn't run it the right way. And by the grace of God, what happened happened. But I mean, every time Haywood hit a three, it was just like, oh my goodness, could you miss? Like
yeah,
you,
yeah.
it's okay to not hit those every single time. It's
He's a,
crazy.
he's a sniper, man. I mean, we got to finally see a little bit of him. I mean, saw some of him during the season, but mostly during the Crown last year. And
Mhm.
I think he shot. I tweeted at some point he shot some ridiculous percentage in the Crown. So yeah, he's a sniper, man. He's a sniper. That's what he does.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome. This one says, would love to hear where and how your love of basketball started, and kind of maybe what just general like life lessons have you learned from kind of playing at a high level of basketball over these years. I'm guessing that kind of means on and off the court.
Mhm. So starting with that first thing, like where basketball kind of originated for me, like pretty sure the day I was born, a ball was in my hand.
Yeah.
But basketball was never my favorite sport, shockingly enough.
Okay.
Um, Lacrosse was my favorite sport. And my freshman year, I played varsity. We went to the state championship and lost. But they kind of figured out that if I was going to be, 6'7", 6'6", lacrosse was not the sport for me. So that really was my first true like sport. But my parents obviously, and then some of my coaches really got on me about like taking basketball serious.
Mm,
And as I obviously like as you start to get better, you start to like it more. But
mm,
as I started to get better and started to see the work pay off, that's when I really fell in love with it. Just the grind of it, of
mm,
waking up early, getting shots up, and then seeing it pay off in the game that night. Just
yeah.
that kind of stuff really helped me fall in love with it. But I think some of the biggest lessons I learned from hoops is, I mean, the lows are never that low, and you can't get too high on the highs. Like I said, like in June, I was probably too high on my highs.
Mm,
And after July, I was probably too low on my lows.
mm,
So kind of going through the rest of my senior year, I kind of figured out not to get too high, not to get too low, and just to, stay level headed because I mean, there's going to be good things that happen, bad things that happen, but I mean, you got to trust the work you put in, you got to trust God and just keep your head down and keep pushing.
Absolutely, man. And then the last question was basically, I'm guessing someone saw the post um, where you and your dad were at the Pacers game. It more or less is just saying how excited are you for the Pacers?
Dude, I'm so stoked. I mean, the Pacers and the Mavericks have always been my two teams. Once the Mavericks traded Luca, I'm not too big of a Mavericks fan right now. So Pacers have been my team pretty much all year, and it's been super cool seeing them get to where they are. I've been to
Yeah,
a lot of games in the playoffs, which we're really fortunate to have been at. But I mean, he wouldn't put on the shirt, and I told him I'm going to put on the shirt, and you're gonna look stupid. And surely enough, 20 seconds later, he's on the big board.
yeah, exactly.
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. But no, I'm stoked for them, and I can't wait to see what they do.
All right, man. Hey, that's kind of everything we got as far as questions and stuff for you. Obviously, super excited to have you on board. Seriously, love having some new fresh dogs on the team. Uh, Excited to have a hometown guy on the team too. I think everyone loves that. I mean, I remember when Stink signed, and then I was like, oh, keep that indie base and kind of have our hometown hero. So super excited to have you. Appreciate you sitting down with us. Uh, Again, man, I always love ending these with "Go Dogs."
There we go. Go dogs. Yes, sir.